Good evening. My name is Hank Bird. I am a screenwriter, a filmmaker, and just a concerned citizen. I wanted to reach out to everybody tonight. I know everybody has a lot of questions. They have a lot of concerns. Everybody's emotional and upset about some of the recent things we've seen on TV. I'm one of those people. But instead of us marching and screaming and burning things down and tearing up things in our own neighborhoods, I wanted us to take a step back and be a little more strategic in what we do. So with that, we started Blackout Mondays. And Blackout Mondays is just one of the pieces of a very large puzzle that we're trying to put together. It's just one cog in the wheel of the many things that we're going to be trying to do over the weeks and days and months to come. The crux of Blackout Monday is this, is that the only thing that systematic racism understands is a loss of life and a loss of revenue. Since municipalities are the employers of police forces and pay their salaries, a boycott of any revenue sources from these municipalities will send a powerful message. We're asking for a boycott, a blackout of revenue, no sales tax or city services, money every Monday for the rest of the year. Attacking those revenue sources will get a city leader's attention, especially if those cities are in competition for tax revenue with the suburbs. Then there must be a list of demands. And that's where we are with this. We want to send a message that our dollars are important and our lives are important. Our communities are important. Our communities spend money in their communities. They shop in their stores. They patronize their businesses. And by taking that money away, we're taking our power back and investing in it in ourselves, in our own neighborhoods, in our own communities. I don't have all the answers today. And I know people have a lot of questions, and we're working to get a more concrete plan. But for right now, there's a few things that we want to just get out there and just talk about as citizens everywhere. And this is not, we live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it is just not for Tulsa. It's for everywhere. So we're talking about neighborhoods, we're talking about Chicago, Miami, Dallas, Fort Worth. We're talking about all these places all over the United States. We're not just talking about where we live, because we all have an issue in our communities where our voices are not being heard, but our dollars are being spent. And once we start taking back those dollars and investing it back in our neighborhoods, it sends a clear message that we have something to say. Again, I don't have all the answers. I'm just a concerned citizen. These are things that have been on my mind. I'm sure we'll add to this list. I'm sure that we'll come up with other things that we want to discuss or other things that we're passionate or are more important to us. But just a few things that I wanted to touch on outside of the Blackout Mondays. I don't want it just to be about that. This is just the nucleus of what we're trying to do as a whole. But I want to talk about the Blackout Mondays and also other areas that in our own neighborhoods that we can touch on. Because we not only have to deal with the issue of police violence against our citizens, we also have to deal with our own stuff. We also have to do some cleaning in our own backyard. We also have to do some things, we also have to turn that mirror on ourselves and deal with some of those issues as well. So some of the things that I want to talk about are solutions. Solution one, volunteering in our schools. We can't put everything on the teachers. With budget cuts and swelling classrooms, the teachers in many cities are overwhelmed. It's our job as parents to go into the schools, make sure we know who the teachers are, talk to the teachers, talk to the administrators, find out the lessons that are being taught, volunteer when we can for either testing or sit in for lunches and recesses or whatever we can do as parents to make sure we're a presence in the school. If we have more of a presence in the school, our voices can be heard there. We have cities that have deplorable education systems, and we don't have any parental involvement. In addition to that, education just doesn't end when the bell rings. when they get home, there's a lot of lessons that we can be teaching. There's a lot of things that little black boys and little black girls of color can be learning from us about history, about themselves, about mathematics, about Africa, about a myriad of subjects that they could be learning. So when they leave school, it doesn't end there. Education isn't just within the walls of the schools. It happens at home, it happens at grandma's, it happens at aunts and uncles, sisters, brothers, it happens everywhere. So constantly be educating and volunteering in the schools. Next, mentoring. Even if you don't have kids, not having kids doesn't absolve you of being an influence in a child's life. If you're in a community and there are children, doesn't absolve you. Mentor. There are mentorship programs, I'm sure, in your communities. Find out what they are. The internet is powerful. Get on the internet, find out what your local community mentoring programs are. Some of them are through your churches, some of them through the city, some of them are through independent programs, 501c3 programs. Find out what they are and volunteer with those programs and be a mentor to kids. Give to organizations in our community that help our community. You have organizations that are embedded in your community that are probably struggling financially, or people don't know about them. So give to those organizations, help them meet their financial goals, help them meet their needs in order to better serve our community. Solution number 4, which is very important, know who your elected officials are and how to get in contact with them. If you line up most people in their cities, they don't know. They have no idea some of them don't know who the mayor is. Who's the mayor? Who's the governor? Who's your senator? Who's your city council members? Who are the people that are elected to take care of the needs of your particular city? And how do you get in contact with them? How can I get a letter or email to these people? So we need to know these things. Part of civics, part of government knowledge is to know who your local elected officials are. And if they're not doing their jobs, make sure we're voting them out. So know who they are, know what they're doing or not doing, and know how to get in contact with them. Solution number 5, join or create organizations that are in our community that help our community. Not every program is a one size fit all. So if there's a program that you would like to see, start one. You can go on irs.gov and you can download the 501c3 paperwork. It's pretty detailed, but it also gives you instructions on how to fill it out. If you know somebody that can help you fill out those forms, I'm sure somebody can help you with that. Fill out a 501c3, start your own nonprofit, raise the funds. Be the change that you want to see in your neighborhood. If you want to see a certain program in your neighborhood, start one. Don't complain about it, start one. Solution number 6. Create and use your art that speaks up and out about the ills in our community instead of perpetuating debauchery and coonery. And it's a real important one for me. I understand that in a lot of cities there's a culture, and there's a culture of gangs, there's a culture of drug dealing, there's a culture of a lot of things that we look at, which we call debauchery. And instead of adding to that as an artist, let's try to do things that uplift or point the finger at or put the finger on the ills in our community. I remember NWA when they, people called them gangster rappers and people put them down for a lot of the music they did, like Fuck the Police and some of the other songs that they put out. But through all of that, those songs were speaking about what they were going through in their community. They were speaking about the police brutality and the dirty cops and all the things that were going on in the community. So use your art as a way of shedding a light on situations, a way of releasing that anger and that frustration about the things that are going on in your community. And use it to uplift people and not just turn it into the same old thing that we're used to hearing, all the debauchery and the coonery that we're already hearing in a lot of our films and music and TV shows. Solution number 7, report crime in your community. You can't go marching past the trap house on your way to the police station and go protest. Report crime in your community. You're the first line of defense in your community. You're the eyes and ears on every block in your community. The police, of course, they're killing without impunity in our neighborhoods, but at the same time, so the shooters and the corner boys and the drug dealers that we have in our neighborhoods, we give them a pass, but not the crooked cops. That has to change. That stop snitching mentality, it needs to stop. Tell when people are raping and killing and shooting in your neighborhood. Tell when people are kicking in doors in your neighborhood. Those people are supposed to be in jail. If you're doing crime in your neighborhood, people need to know about it. Don't give them a pass and then let people come and kill you. Stop it. Solution number 8, get involved with local government. Know what laws are on the books and attend city council meetings if you can, to let your voice be heard and to voice your concerns about all the things that are going on in your community. If you know somebody that does go and you're not able to attend, ask them what went on. Take notes. Find out what's going on. The big problem is that we just don't get involved enough in our local politics. Midterm elections are the most important. They're more important than the national or the presidential elections because they determine what goes on in your neighborhoods. Solution number 9, get to know your chiefs of police. Every chief of police in any city should have an open door policy and open lines of communication with the communities that they've been sworn to protect. He should be one of the first people that you get in contact with when their officers are misbehaving or when something bad is going on in the neighborhoods that concern police. He should have an email address, a phone number, or a way to get in contact with them. Meet with them. Again, he should have an open door policy. If he's not willing to meet with the people in the communities in which he serves, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. So demand to speak to him. Go in and talk to him. A lot of the things that are going on, he may not know about. So utilize that open door policy, that email address, that phone number. Talk to him. Let him know the things that are going on. Talk to him about community policing and your expectations of community policing in your neighborhood. Solution number 10, entrepreneurial pursuits. Not just starting a business, but being equipped and educated to run and sustain a business in your community. The SBA offers free online classes and services to help small business owners. There's also a new app called Where You Came From. I just discovered it today. It's a great app. If you're a black business owner, register your business on that app. And if you're somebody looking to patronize a black business, it's also a great app for you to download. So again, Where You Came From, the link is here. Patronize that app. Post your business on there. Make it available to the people to discover so they can patronize your business. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, I mean, if you don't pay, and if you don't buy anything on Monday, you're just going to turn around and do it on Tuesday. But a concentrated effort on that one day does send a message. It does make an impact, no matter how small or big that you think it is. And as we go further, our main goal is to divest that money away from those communities and invest it back in our own communities. And a big part of that is having strong economic bases. If our communities, our black communities, do not have banks or credit unions, that's a problem. Without those banks or credit unions for us to pull money from, to start our own businesses, to patronize, that is not economic development. We're not able to develop our neighborhoods if we're not able to build our own businesses. We have to have that power. We have to take that power back and be able to get loans and get small business loans, to be able to start our own businesses. Somebody said to me earlier, well, Hank, that's the problem. We don't have enough businesses in our neighborhoods in which to patronize in order to make this thing effective. That's part of the plan. We have to change that. Many of you have skills and services that you have, but just don't have the business mind or whatever to make that thing a full-time business. We want to change that. We want to be able to empower you in order to make those changes and to make those businesses. If you want to be a contractor or a painter or open your own nail salon or hair shop or whatever, you should have the power to be able to do that. You should be able to have the economic base in your neighborhoods that allow you to do those things. So that's one of the many things that we're going to talk about in the days, weeks, and months to come. We don't have all the answers today. But we hope that we can have a meeting of the minds in all of our cities and wherever we are and come together over this situation that we have. We have to take this power back in our neighborhoods. We do have that power, but it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. This isn't a microwave society. Everything doesn't happen at the drop of a hat, especially anything meaningful. This is meaningful. We've seen enough. We've cried enough. We've marched enough. We've talked enough. It's time to make some concrete movements, not abstract promises. So the last thing we need is detractors. If you're going to be a negative Nelly, if you're going to come in, just trying to detract from take the wind out of everybody's sails, be negative, detract from what everybody's doing, then this isn't for you. Go start your own movement. Go do something else. Or as the old folks say, shut up when grown folks is talking. So we need your help. Blackout Mondays. Are you with us?